might think dogs forget, but they don't. They may not remember the date or the exact words you used, but they never forget how you made them feel. Ever seen your dog walk away, ears down, tail low, after you snapped at them? That's not obedience. That's heartbreak. The truth is, our daily habits, the little things we do without thinking, can leave scars on the only creature that loves us more than life itself. In this video, we're uncovering 12 everyday actions that might be hurting your dog's feelings, quietly, deeply, and repeatedly. If you've ever said, "He was my best friend," or "She saved me," this might just help you love them better. Let's begin not with training or science, but with a moment you've lived through. A small detail you brushed off, but your dog didn't. 1. Inconsistency in routine. Emotional disorientation. He used to wait by the door every morning. Same time, same look, same quiet excitement. And then, life got busy. I slept in one day, skipped the walk the next. He adjusted, or at least I thought he did. But what I didn't see was how his eyes searched the hallway, how he paced before giving up, how he started sleeping longer, not out of peace, but resignation. Dogs don't just love routine, they rely on it. In their world, predictability isn't just comfort, it's security. When we break that without warning, feeding late, walking at random, disappearing all day, we create confusion. And for a dog that sees you as their world, that kind of inconsistency doesn't feel like flexibility. It feels like you're not showing up. Research shows dogs form deep emotional bonds, seeing their humans as safe havens. When that haven shifts without explanation, they don't get mad. They get lost. Inside. If your dog has ever seemed withdrawn, it might not be age. It might be inconsistency. But what happens when they make a mistake, and we react in the worst possible way? 2. Rubbing their nose. Humiliation, not correction. I did it once. She had an accident in the hallway. I was tired, frustrated, and without thinking, I grabbed her and pushed her nose toward the mess. I thought I was teaching her something, but what I saw in her eyes wasn't guilt. It was confusion, shame, and something deeper, distance. Dogs don't connect past actions with punishment, especially not minutes later. When you rub their nose in it, you're not showing them right from wrong. You're showing them that when something bad happens, you become someone they can't trust. Research proves that punishment-based methods not only fail to teach, they actually increase stress, anxiety, and break the emotional bond. Positive reinforcement, on the other hand, builds clarity. It doesn't just train behavior, it protects the relationship. A calm no in the moment paired with redirection teaches. Shame never does. And the damage lasts longer than you think. If you've ever felt your dog flinch at your hand or hesitate before coming to you, it may not be disobedience, it may be memory. And sometimes even gestures we think are kind, like a pat on the head, can feel like a warning, not affection. 3. Head patting. Threat, not love. I used to do it all the time. Reach down, pat his head, quick, friendly, like how we ruffle a kid's hair. Until one day, he pulled back. Just slightly. But enough for me to notice. That wasn't affection for him. That was intrusion. Dogs don't naturally enjoy hands coming from above. In the wild, that motion signals dominance or threat. Especially for anxious or rescue dogs, a hand over the head doesn't feel like love. It feels like being loomed over. Research confirms dogs read emotional cues with impressive accuracy, facial expressions, tone of voice, even body position. When our actions contradict our intent, they don't get the message. They get mixed signals. And mixed signals create mistrust. The spots dogs truly enjoy being touched: chest, shoulders, the base of the tail, Places that feel like connection, not control. When your dog leans in, wags softly, or nudges you closer, that's the sign they want more. Not when they go still or glance away. If they're avoiding your hand, it's not stubbornness. It's survival instinct. And if that small motion can unsettle them, imagine what a raised voice does. 4. Shouting. Emotional contamination. It only took one time. I was stressed, spilled coffee, missed a call, and when he barked at the wrong moment, I snapped. Enough, I shouted. Not at him, but near him. He froze, ears down, backed into the corner like I'd become a stranger. Dogs don't understand why you're yelling. They don't hear words. They hear tone, tension, fear. And worse, they feel it. Recent research shows dogs can smell human stress through sweat and breath. And it changes their own emotional state, making them anxious, withdrawn, even hopeless. When you raise your voice, you're not teaching. You're transferring your frustration onto the one being in the house who didn't cause it, but will carry it. They don't rebel. They retreat. And sometimes they don't come back the same. It's not about being perfect. It's about catching yourself before the damage is done. Because a dog that fears your voice will one day stop listening to it, not out of defiance, but pain. But the worst wounds, they don't come from shouting. They come from silence. From the times we ignore their need for joy, for play, for company, and call it just a busy day. 5. Ignoring playtime. Social deprivation. He'd stand by the back door every evening, ball in his mouth, eyes full of hope. And I'd say, "Later, buddy." But later turned into tomorrow. Then next week. And one day, he stopped asking. Dogs aren't just furry companions. They're social beings wired for interaction. Play isn't extra. It's essential. It's how they bond, relieve stress, and stay mentally balanced. When we ignore those moments not intentionally, but repeatedly, we're not just missing fun. We're sending a message. You don't matter right now. Studies show dogs thrive on interaction. Just 15 minutes of shared activity a day, a walk, a gentle game, even talking, can reduce anxiety and improve their emotional well-being. Without it, they grow restless, confused, and sometimes depressed. And the thing is, they never stop waiting. Even if they don't bring the ball anymore. Even if they nap in the corner instead of staring at you. But when they're scared, truly afraid, they still look to us. And if we laugh at that fear instead of protecting them, something deeper breaks. 6. Laughing at their fears. Breaking trust. She trembled every time it thundered. Not just a flinch, full body shaking eyes, darting tail tucked so tight it nearly disappeared. And I remember chuckling once, saying, "Come on, girl, it's just a storm. I meant no harm." But she didn't understand the words, only that I didn't take her fear seriously. Dogs, like toddlers, don't process logic and fear. They feel deeply. Research shows their emotional world is close to a 2-year-old child's. When something terrifies them, fireworks thunder the vacuum. They need comfort, not comedy. Laughing may seem harmless to us, but to a dog who trusts you as their protector, it feels like betrayal. Instead of safety, they feel alone, misunderstood. And the next time fear strikes, they might hide not from the noise, but from you. Offering a gentle touch, a calm voice, or simply sitting beside them can make the difference between panic and peace. Because to them, you're not just someone in the room. You're the shield. But imagine that same dog finally relaxed, enjoying their meal, and out of nowhere, you take their food away. Not to hurt, but it still does. 7. Taking food away, anxiety, and food guarding. He was eating slower that day, savoring every bite. I reached down thinking I'd tidy up early and lifted the bowl mid-meal. He didn't growl, didn't snap, but he froze, looked up, and from that day on he started eating faster, guarding it, like he was afraid I'd take it again. For a dog, food isn't just nutrition, it's survival. Even in our homes, their instincts run deep. And when their food is taken without warning, it doesn't teach obedience, it triggers insecurity. That fear can grow into guarding stress or even aggression. Positive training doesn't mean giving up control. It means giving them clarity. Teaching cues like leave it or wait turns mealtime into a shared understanding, not a power struggle. Research backs it. Dogs trained with reward-based methods show less anxiety and better emotional stability than those corrected through control. Meal times should be safe, predictable, something they trust, not something they brace for. Because when you take something vital without explanation, you plant fear where there used to be peace. And sometimes fear shows up not in teeth or growls, but in how they flinch when you simply reach out. 8. Pushing them away. Physical rejection. He nudged my hand while I was on the couch, gentle, hopeful. I was exhausted, not in the mood, so I pushed him away just a little. He walked off, laid down across the room. And that night, he didn't come back. Dogs don't just crave touch, they need it. Physical closeness is one of their deepest forms of connection. When we push them away even lightly, they don't interpret it as not now. They feel rejected, unwanted. Like the one person they count on just said, "Not today." And if it happens too often, they stop asking. Dogs don't throw tantrums. They withdraw. Instead of physical force, use words. Say off or not now, but gently. Pair it with redirection, a toy, a chew, something that says, "I still care. Just not right this second." Because pushing isn't about setting boundaries. It's about how you make them feel while you do it. And when they finally do, try again, a paw on your leg, a nose under your hand. What happens if you ignore that too? 9. Ignoring Paw Scratches. Ignoring connection. It was subtle. Just a soft paw on my knee while I stared at the screen. I thought, he'll wait. But he didn't paw again. He just curled up quietly. And I missed the moment. Dogs speak without words. A gentle paw, a nudge, a steady stare. These aren't random. They're signals. Questions. Are you here with me? Can you see me? And when we ignore them, not just once, but over time, they stop trying to reach us at all. Research shows humans often misread dog behavior. We think they're begging or annoying when in fact they're communicating. Their pawing isn't a habit to break. It's a message waiting for acknowledgement. Even a quick glance, a soft word, a light touch, it tells them, "I hear you. I'm here." Because the moment we stop responding, they start fading. Not in love, but in expression. And when they feel unseen, unimportant, disconnected, even the safest space can start to feel like a cage, especially if that space, their crate, becomes a place we use for punishment, not peace. 10. Using crate as punishment. Saren breeding fear. She used to curl up in her crate like it was her own little world. Safe, quiet, hers. But after a few bad days when she chewed the mail, barked too long, made a mess, I started sending her there as punishment. No yelling, just go to your crate. The first few times, she obeyed. Then, she started hesitating. One day, she didn't go in at all. A crate should be a refuge, not a sentence. Dogs are den animals. They love enclosed spaces when it feels like safety. But when we use the crate as a timeout zone, we change its meaning. We turn peace into isolation. Studies confirm it. Dogs exposed to aversive training, including punishment through confinement, develop more anxiety, slower learning, and emotional withdrawal. You don't need to eliminate the crate. Just reclaim its purpose. Fill it with soft things, feed them near it. Praise them when they enter on their own. Make it a sanctuary again. Because when the place that once felt like home becomes a prison, they don't rebel, they shut down. And that emotional silence, it can start with something even smaller, like being left out of your goodbye. 11. Leaving them out of rituals. Emotional abandonment. Every morning he'd follow me to the door. Same routine, I'd kneel, scratch behind his ears, say, "Be good, buddy." And every evening he'd be waiting in the same spot. One day I was late. Rushed. No time for the usual goodbye. I slipped out without a word. That night, he wasn't there to greet me. Dogs live for ritual. It's how they measure time, feel connected, feel safe. A skipped walk, a missed meal, a forgotten goodbye. To us, it's nothing. To them, it's everything. Especially older dogs or rescues who've experienced abandonment before. One missed moment can stir a lifetime of fear. They don't understand busy. They only feel left behind. Researchers studying the human-canine bond agree when routines break, emotional stress rises. It's not the action, it's the absence of meaning. And when that absence becomes a pattern, dogs don't adapt. They detach. So even when life feels overwhelming, a 1-minute pause, a soft word, a touch, a look can anchor them. Keep the thread alive. Because when dogs grow old, those rituals become their final comforts. And when age creeps in, the signs of fading aren't always loud. Sometimes they come in silence. 12. Ignoring emotional changes in senior dogs. Sorrowful disconnect. She used to run to the door, bark, spin, jump a little even at 10 years old. But then she stopped. I thought it was just age. Slowing down. But the way she looked at me, still alert, still loving, told a different story. She wasn't lazy. She was slipping. Quietly. And I almost missed it. Senior dogs don't always show pain with noise. They show it with stillness. A change in sleep. A loss of appetite. A new distance. And when we chalk it up to getting old and move on, we risk missing the moments when they need us most. Conditions like arthritis, dementia, even cancer often show up subtly in how they hesitate on stairs, forget routines, or stop greeting us altogether. These are not just medical signs. They're emotional ones. Cries for help wrapped in silence. If you've had a dog grow old beside you, you know the ache watching them fade while trying to stay strong. But the greatest kindness we can offer isn't just comfort at the end. It's presence, attentiveness, and love through every quiet change. Because by the time the silence becomes permanent, we're left wishing we'd listened closer. And now that you've seen what can hurt them, let's take a moment to look back and hold their hearts more gently. Maybe you've done some of these things. I have too. Not because we didn't care, but because we didn't know. We thought we were being firm, or busy, or just human. And they, in all their quiet loyalty, forgave us again and again. But dogs don't forget how we make them feel. Now you know the missed walk wasn't small. The loud voice didn't just echo in the room, it echoed in their heart. And that little paw on your leg, it wasn't an interruption. It was a reminder, I'm still here. Do you see me? You don't need to be perfect, just present, just aware. Because in the end, it's not about rules or training or even doing everything right. It's about love that speaks in small actions, in gentle hands, in consistent kindness. If this video helped you see your dog a little differently, or maybe remember one you've loved and lost, I'd be honored to hear your story. Drop it in the comments. Tell us about the moment you knew they trusted you. or the one moment you wish you could do over. And if you want more stories like this ones that help us become not just better dog owners, but better companions, hit subscribe. Stay with us, because in the next video, we'll talk about the final 7 days of a dog's life and the soft signs they give when they're getting ready to say goodbye. And maybe, just maybe, that will help us say goodbye a little better too.